go ahead and attach the lower arm to the cross member, and that's going to be between 60 and 90 pounds. This by far is the hardest part of this entire job. This gets bolted onto the top frame rail and it fits into a slot here and a slot here. So I can either push the entire control arm out, I can pull it in, I can move it over to one side, I can move it over to the other side. Imagine this is where the wheel attaches because that's the top of the spindle, so basically that's where the wheel attaches. Imagine how much it would change as far as how your wheels are placed on the ground by that much. Okay, this is why this job is so difficult. So these bolts go in like that, one on each side, and they go through this part, and then they go through here, okay? This is what it screws into. Now these have to be like this because you need to be able to loosen these and move that arm in and out when you are aligning this vehicle, okay? So that's why it's so difficult, because there's nothing stationary underneath here that you're going to bolt into. So what I have to do is put the control arm on top here, put the bolts through, and reach back and try to situate it under there in such a way that it catches the bolt nice and neat. I think I got lucky. 100 to 140 foot-pounds, 13/16. As soon as I get wheels on, this thing's going to get aligned. Sneak this guy in. Talking 35 to 47 foot-pounds. We're going to compress the spring before we put it in. Don't forget, you get your spring compressed, you're about ready to put it in, and then somebody forgets the insulator. It's just a little piece of rubber. So this is how a spring compressor works. You put it inside the spring. It looks like a little man. See how it looks like a man? Here's his head. Here's his arms. See, right? And he hangs. Hi, how are you? And then the legs. Okay, anyway, so you put this side towards the top of the spring. This side's toward the bottom. Crawl it in there to grab as much of the spring as you can. Make the little man go inside. I'm just going to put a driver on this, and I'm going to tighten it. It's going to bring these in towards themselves, and it's going to compress this part of the spring. I'm going to put this bottle jack right here. I'll put the spindle on the lower first. Move this up and out of the way. Okay. Bring the castle nut on, like that. Now I'm going to move this down. Okay. Okay. Ball joints connected. Torque both of these ball joints to the spindle. It's supposed to be 60 to 90. Strut rod. This goes on the bar, so it's that shallow cupped washer, and then this goes there, okay? And then it goes right into the cross member. Then these two pieces sandwich between the cross member and the castle nut. So I'm going to sneak this piece in first, the strut rod. I'm going to mount it here first, push it through the cross member, and then I'm going to get these on. Now these go on the lower control arm, but they have splines here. So I'm going to have to make sure once I get them in, I'm going to have to persuade them onto the control arm because those splines are kind of difficult. I had to pound them out to get them off the lower control arm when I was disassembling, if you remember. So I'm going to have to pound them back on. All right. So I'm going to put the bolts on. And we are going 80 to 115 foot-pounds. isolated nut. Look at how pretty. 60 to 90. Okay, shock. These go on here, boom. With these on, we load the shock in from the bottom. Once it's through, at the top of the frame, we put that on, we put this on, and then we put this first bolt down, 22 foot-pounds, 22 to 34 foot-pounds. We're going to put this on top of it, spin this on top of it. In effect, it's going to lock it. Underneath, the lower control arm has 2 studs and 2 bolts. We're going to attach it like so. Okay, it goes small against the washer, big here. According to the hole here, it fits perfectly. Steering, ball joints, upper arm, lower arm, spindle, spring, shock, strut, brake line, next, caliper, upper right hand corner of this video shows you how to do it. Alright, so the last is the stabilizer bar. So this is the end link. There's one on that side and there's one on that side, okay? That's what it sits on. So the stabilizer bar actually goes through this top one. The lower control arm goes through this bottom one. That's just one big long bolt. It's got to go in from the top. Put it in like that first. Put the stabilizer bar in it. Then I put these on. Then I put the spacer on. Then I put the first washer on. A little rubber guy on. Then I put it through the control arm. Then I put the next rubber guy, next thing, bolt. I think it's easier to grease stuff before you put the tires on and all that. Alright. Alright, so that was difficult. But I did get there and there. So stabilizer bar to frame, done. 60 to 90 is the torque for these guys, and then that's a wrap. Use in other videos, you can completely tear down and rebuild, recondition the suspension on a 70s vehicle. Right on, with the spring on the lower arm, by the way.